All right. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. My name is David Searby. I'm very happy to be here. I spent 8 years working with before I joined Rotary, before I retired from the State Department in April. I've spent 8 years developing an idea which I really think has potential for being something very important for Rotary. And I'm not here to talk about my company, BeachCorps. I'm here to talk about the broader issue of service travel and how Rotary can possibly fit into that. So, you know, we're on the verge of ending polio. We've had some minor setbacks recently. This is an organization that takes on great challenges. And we've used our strengths as an organization to make an incredible impact on polio. So I think this is definitely an organization that can take on new ideas. And we're looking for new things to do, like polio. So could we be looking at ways to fight malaria? Of course. Infant mortality, access to safe water. Water is going to be an incredible issue for our planet as we go forward. What about peace and stability in conflict zones? These are all wonderful sort of future targets for Rotary. But what if we also reimagine not just Rotary how or what it's targeting or what it's trying to achieve? What if we reimagined how we try to achieve it? So there is a huge demand for something called service travel, volunteer vacations. There have been studies, one from a year ago by an organization called Tourism Cares, a wonderful organization that's the philanthropic arm of the travel agents of the United States. My main partner in the Dominican Republic has seen an enormous increase in companies coming down to the Dominican Republic saying, we want to come down with our people, but we also want to do something. We want to get out and help a cause, and they don't know what to do. So there is absolutely potential for work in this area and advancement in this area. Now, service travel is often referred to as voluntourism, sometimes derisively as voluntourism. So the reason is that much service travel is very good, existing service travel is very good, but much service travel actually has some serious problems. One of the most important problems, I think, pervading the entire industry is that the marketing for service travel, whether you're talking about great nonprofit firms like International Student Volunteers and great private companies like Discover Corps, these are all doing wonderful things, but a lot of the marketing of what they do is focused around how the volunteer is going to have this enormous impact. And you're gonna really come in and change something. And that's not a realistic promise for a short-term travel of a week, 2 weeks. I don't even think it's realistic to talk about a month unless you bring specialized skills to an area having a major impact on a community, on a problem, especially in a country where you don't know the country. So I think that that's one of the main problems that has really harmed existing voluntourism, is the idea that it's all about this voluntourists coming in and saving the day. The other problem is that often, like if you're talking about painting jobs and construction jobs, you often displace local jobs in doing so. And if you aren't very careful, that's a real problem, and you've actually caused harm. You've actually put businesses out of businesses permanently by trying to help people. The lack of sustainability often is a problem. I'm not saying for all volunteer vacations, I'm saying for some, where they basically create kind of a little, I call them Potemkin poverty villages, where you go in and kind of look at poor people and feel sorry for them and drop off a book bag and take off. That's not a sustainable program. And again, that leads to the idea of encouraging a culture of dependency. In Cambodia, we've actually had horrific stories of families renting out their kids to orphanages to pretend they're orphans so that the orphanage can get more money. And finally, there is a movement called Men Not In that recognizes that service travel, volunteer vacations can be very effective, but they need to be working under certain guidelines to prevent these problems. So my proposal is that Rotary can become the worldwide leader in voluntourism. This is an organization that has unique qualities that, or service travel. I want to change that to service travel because, again, some people don't like that word, voluntourism. But Rotary is very capable of doing it right. And if every Rotarian came into Rotary knowing, sort of like the Hajj in Islam, that once in your lifetime you need to pack your bags, go visit another Rotary club and help their project, that would have a profound impact on this organization. Why is Rotary so great? First of all, we have a worldwide presence. Secondly, we have a reputation. Again, that's something you need to protect, of course. You only want to support great causes. But Rotary has a great reputation that can attract both Rotarians into service travel projects and non-Rotarians into service travel projects. And finally, Rotary is an organization that is exceptionally networked with the private sector, the government, and civil society nonprofits. So the kind of sample Rotary trip is very simple. It's a regular vacation. The best way to do it is people like their vacations. They don't want to give up their vacations. You know, they like nice hotels. They don't want to stay in a dump. So take a regular family, corporate, couples vacation getaway, add on an excursion to help a great cause and a donation to that cause that passes through a 501c3 U.S. charity to make sure that that money is being used in a proper fashion. That's what Rotary can do. Essentially, you're talking about whatever your cost of your vacation is, you can add on $200 a day, and you've got yourself a very sustainable model for executing excellent service travel. And this is actually less. This is actually less than existing service travel that doesn't put you up in a great hotel and doesn't channel nearly the amount of funds to great causes that this model would. Okay? So in essence, the model that I'm proposing that Rotary adopt would be focused more on fun. So you focus on great hotels. You try to have more activities that aren't just painting, but playing baseball, putting on a show, cooking, and you also focus on more sustainability so that you get rid of this culture of dependency. You completely separate the vacation from the donation, which other service travel providers don't do. You pay one price, and buried in that price of your vacation, your service travel vacation, is some unknown donation to the cause. And if you ask 95% of these organizations, and again, some of them doing great work, how much of the money that I gave to you went to the cause? They either can't tell you or they won't tell you because it's very, very small. And again, the model that I'm proposing offers outstanding partnership opportunities with airlines, hotels, and the private sector in general, which is a very dynamic force in making these more popular worldwide. Thanks. So, as I mentioned, the study confirming Rotary, there's a real demand for this kind of vacation. And what that study really showed, most of all, is demand in three areas. Affluent travelers are really looking for this kind of opportunity, families, and millennials. And so there is huge unmet demand in this area for those three parts of our society. So how would this support Rotary? How would service travel support Rotary? Very simple. Number one, it would strengthen and support clubs, both in the clubs receiving service travel and the clubs sending service travel vacations. Secondly, it would obviously focus and strengthen humanitarian service. These are the main strategic goals of Rotary. And finally, improve public awareness and image.